Chicken with
a chicken?
Chicken with a
that's definitely a chicken. Pidgeotto or something like that?
That's a bird. Oh. It's a bird, yes.
It looks like a chicken.
It's a pigeon. Hence the name.
It looks more it's got that thing on the head.
It's a pigeon. Pidgeotto.
Evolution.
PG is the first one, Pidgeotto and Pidgeot.
Okay.
Yep. Pidgeot was OP for sure.
That's not being menacing at all.
And she has not stopped using it. She's at that age that she understands what Halloween is now.
Nice.
Is be creepy.
Wait until she turns 15.
Nope. No. We still got time for that.
Oh, Dad, look at those very short dresses that you could wear. I could dress like Leia. You know, that scene where they're...
Nope.
Jabba the Hutt.
I know his...
That's your knees you're talking about.
I know his... I knew his reaction was going to be like, never going to fucking happen.
I know those are my nieces that I'm talking about. I also know my nieces.
Nope.
And I was also a 15-year-old girl once. So, I have the evidence to back this
up. He's on denial still. But...
yeah.
Got it. You can say shit. You got two boys. You got no room to talk.
I know. I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, I hope she stays on the creepy side.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Nerd Archive podcast, where we talk about nerdy stuff, and that's all we talk about, plus bullshit. A lot of bullshit. Plenty of bullshit.
So much bullshit.
Oh, man. Like, it's more bullshit than nerdy stuff. But it is what it is. With me, we have Lola, Yadi, and Justin, and, of course, I'm Lewis. So, we're going to be talking about Pokémon? Is that what we decided?
I thought you said your name was Louise.
What?
You said Lewis, and I said I thought your name was Louise.
Well, my name is Louise.
Thank you.
I was about to say, and I said, really? And nobody heard me.
I did. That's why I said that whole comment.
Yeah, see.
Trying to back you up.
All right, well, let's start it over. No, not starting over.
We're in too deep now.
That's good.
That's what she said.
I knew that was coming.
So, we got to catch them all. We're going to talk about Pokemon today.
Yay!
There's a problem. Lola, the first experience she had with Pokemon was Pokemon Gold. However, it is not when it came out, but 2 months ago.
Oh.
Hey, better late than never. I still know nothing about it.
It's fine. There's a lot of lore. A lot of lore.
I did pass my first gym, though.
Woohoo!
Woo!
So, that's about
it. I think the three of us, we can say that we have been Pokemon fans since Blue, Red, and Green came out, and then Yellow, Gold, Silver, on and on and on.
Green never got released in the US.
I was able to play it. I had a friend that had it.
Cool.
It's not that much different. It's literally
it's just green.
Red and blue.
Pretty much.
But in Japanese.
In Japanese?
In Japanese. You gotta say it with the diaphragm.
You gotta say it with the phlegm.
That's Arabic, not Japanese.
Japanese? Now there was Japanese.
A little callback.
Talking about bullshit.
Immediately got derailed.
Speaking of bullshit, Jeff-fa-fa.
Jeff-fa-fa. Dun-ha-ha.
Oh well. All right. Well, let's start off. What was out of the red and blue? Which one was your first Pokemon game? Or yellow?
I started with red, and then I also had yellow.
Yeah, red and yellow also.
I got blue and yellow.
It's
So you
weird, though,
technically
'cause-
had green.
pretty much.
You can say that.
Yeah. It's weird though, because everybody in my friend group had blue. And that seemed to be the more popular version.
Since the get-go, Charizard was my favorite. So
Oh yeah. So it was a given you'd go with red.
yeah, every game I played, I go with fire type.
I think the only one they had left at the time was blue. So that's what my mom picked.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Blastoise is
No, not at all.
No, I think it's
He's
because blue was my
OP.
favorite color. So
Gotcha. Yeah, blue is my favorite color too, but I don't know. Although everything I own is red, whatever. Not
you
talk
go
about
to
it.
the dark side always since the beginning.
I do. Yep.
Because red was always associated with the villain. At least in my eyes, it was always associated with
No,
something.
that's true. I feel like it all started with Star Wars
Pretty much.
because it's full circle.
Uh-huh.
But when we see colors, we see red or blue, and then we know that red is for the villain and blue is for the good guy. Fun fact: if you ever see an Apple device on a movie, this is not random. I just stay with me.
Is there a connection somewhere?
Yes. If you ever see an Apple device on a movie, it's always going to be the good guy. Because Apple makes sure that if you are going to put our product in the movies, it cannot be a villain. I know how you feel about it, Apple, Justin, but it's how they make sure. So, but here's the thing: if you also see a villain with an Apple device, that person is going to be actually on the good side. That was a fun fact of the day.
I will have to fact check you on that one.
Yeah.
Perhaps later.
Go for it.
Perhaps
We'll put
later.
intern Steve on the case.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Intern Steve is on the case.
But red. Always red.
Yeah.
Like I said, Charizard has always been my favorite. If you're watching, I have a Funko Pop of Charizard in my hand.
For our
And
audio listeners.
Yep, and he is on my desk right in front of me at all times. Him and Vegito. Not Vegeta, Vegito. There was a point where I stopped watching Pokemon for a minute. So it got to a point where I'm like, who are the Pokemon? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, he's orange. That means that he's a fire type. He's blue. That means he's water type. Nope. That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
That does not matter anymore.
Especially in the modern games.
Yeah. And they have made so many games and so many different stories that they don't know what new Pokemon to do. So now they're taking the old ones, and depending on the region they're in, they're different type also. So that I thought that was pretty cool. That if you are it's not, they don't say it. It's not called Hawaii, but if you are in the Hawaii region,
the Lola.
Yeah,
Lola region,
Lola.
right? They have Raichu, which is an electric Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
He is the evolution of Pikachu, if you are not familiar. In the Alola and I'm not talking about Lola. The Alola region, he's actually a psychic type. And he flies around on his own tail. It's funny. It's cool. I think it's cool. So he uses, because it's Alola and it's in Hawaii, so he uses his tail as a surfboard to glide through air. Pretty cool. What is your favorite Pokemon? Let's start with the OG.
And my favorite one, I think it was Pikachu for the most part, and then I kind of unlocked. Not unlocked. I don't remember how we even got Celebi in the gold version, but that became one of my favorite ones just because nobody had it.
I agree. Celebi was good, especially in the movie. When the movie came out, I'm like, oh, I understood more of the character.
Yes.
Because here's another fun fact: the games were in English. We were kids. We grew up in Puerto Rico. At least Yadi and I. I mean, Lola did too, but she didn't play the games. Back then.
We talked about this not too long ago where I tried playing the game, and the reason why it took me so long to get into it was because I didn't know what it said. So I didn't know what I was doing. Right. So I didn't understand anything because of the language difference.
Right. So there's a lot of lore that I learned as an adult that, well, I already knew, but I understood it as an adult because I stopped playing the games. So once I deep dive into it again, I'm like, oh, that's what that means, or that's what I was saying. So it was the games were kind of difficult for those that didn't speak the language, because there was a lot of things that you need to follow. There's a lot of instructions. There was not a lot of talking, so, or any talking at all. There's all subtitles, and I must say that probably these games is what taught me the language, or at least the basics.
Yeah, like thinking back, I don't remember. I don't remember how I understood the game, to be honest, because it's not
And
like
we
I spoke
finished
English.
it.
Yeah, it didn't take us long. I think we would just kind of follow what other people did, or just by a trial and errors. Like
Yeah.
we did it by mistake, but we did it.
Right. It was also, we would catch on words that, like, the maps are very easy. You go one direction, but there gets to a point where it splits and you might have to go back to a city. Once you have been in that city, we read Vermilion City. Oh, that's 2 towns over. I have to go back because I was already there and everything that I saw kept saying the same name. Okay, so I know where that is. So I will go back, and I think that's how I was able to decipher the game. It was more of a word association than anything. But
And
if I were
talking to
right,
everyone without reading and just pressing the button until we got done to
oh
the
yeah,
next one.
I know I'm not the only one that went onto the settings and put those subtitles fast
Yep.
because I needed to get through it because I need to catch more Pokemon. That was the goal. I want to see them all. Not catch them all because it was hard. I only know a few selected people that actually completed the Pokédex in the original game.
I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did once.
I had two Game Boys. I had a Game Boy Pocket and then a Game Boy Color. So I used to transfer from one to the other because I knew which ones were gonna evolve. And then I tried, some that I thought it was gonna evolve and it didn't. So I learned with the time which one I could do and which one I couldn't.
Right. it's like the creators of this game were smart. You wanted to catch them all. They put a specific amount of the Pokédex Pokemon in one game in red version, and then the blue version had different ones. And if you wanted all of them, you had to buy both games or find somebody that had the other game, and transfer them and trade. Or there's also some Pokemon that wouldn't evolve unless you traded them.
4 specifically.
Yeah. So you had to buy the next game.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because
it was
they'll
Go ahead.
No.
Well, it was difficult for me to do that because even with the number of friends that I had that had the other version, because I had the original fat Game Boy and everyone else had like the newer ones, the Game Boy Pocket or the Game Boy Color and things like that. So it was like, I can't do this because their link cables wouldn't work with mine. And then I wound up finding one person that actually did have a compatible cable, and I was just like, oh, cool. This is, finally being able to get the ones, that you couldn't get in the version that I had and the ones that you had to trade for, and then finally being able to get the other 2 starters.
I remember having that cable that had the 2 connections. So I had the double connection on each side, so I could do either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had the cable, I had the magnifying glass, I had the light, which is funny because Sarah, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, got a Game Boy Color, and she bought a whole pack of it, and it came with magnifying glass, the light, a couple games, the bag. It was original bag, Game Boy Color. It says Game Boy Color on the front. And it was the same color that I had mine. So it was, when I saw it and she opened the bag, a lot of memories rushed into my brain.
Oh, the nostalgia.
Yeah, if you didn't have that, if you didn't have that light, you had to, if you were playing at night in the car, you had to wait for those street lights. You had to hurry up. Because if they were going fast, you screwed.
Yep. And of course, your parents weren't going to have that overhead light on.
No,
that was illegal in my household.
Yeah.
If the cops found out that light was on, we were going to get pulled over and taken into jail.
That's what we were told. And if I had to find something on the floor, man, I had to turn it on, panic, and try to find it, and turn it off. But as soon as I did it, my parents, turn that off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'll leave the Butterfinger on the floor. It's just, things like that. It makes you think how good we have it now with something as simple as backlight on a screen.
Yeah. Right.
So, and now you can find actually Game Boy Colors that are modded with the backlight on the screen.
Yep.
And listen, I was on a search trying to find a Game Boy Color for myself. I want one so I can buy the original gold version. And I came across a Game Boy Advance.
Ooh.
That was modded to be wireless charger.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, so what they did was they put the wireless charging coils in the battery pack. Then they put a battery pack in it connected to the coils. So you were able to put it on a wireless charger and charge your Game Boy Advance.
That's insane.
Yeah. Pretty cool mod. Would I spend the money that they were asking for it?
How much were they asking?
How much?
$135
for a Game Boy Advance.
For the Game Boy Advance, just the Game Boy Advance, no games, no nothing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch, even if it does have wireless charging, and it's it's surprising to me that they were able to pull that off, considering the disparity between technology. But
I think it's still for sale. Let's just put it that way.
I think people are scared it's gonna start a fire.
Mm-hmm. Or blow up in your pocket.
The Galaxy.
Yeah. Right. Justin, what's your iPhone doesn't do that. What's your favorite Pokemon from the OGs?
Well, first off, I never had the Note 7, so I don't have to worry about that. So
you have to go backtrack.
I skipped that one entirely, and I'm actually glad I did. Let's see, from the original 3, let's see. I was always partial as far as the starters go to Bulbasaur. Obviously nothing against Charizard because he's super fucking cool as well.
I know.
But let's see. I want to say Mewtwo was another one that I really, really liked as well. And then there's another one I can't remember the name of right now. I'm sure it'll come to me.
Describe it. I can tell you.
My brain is not working to spec right now. So like I said, I'll figure it out and the name will come to me at some point in another segment.
Sounds good. If you think about it, don't say, "Hey, I remember." Just shout out the name. It doesn't matter what we're talking about.
Oh, hey, it's this.
Yeah.
Hey, finally.
Just say the name. Just say the name. That's it. Lola, out of the one game that you played, what was your favorite Pokemon?
It's a chicken with a P name.
Chicken with a chicken?
Chicken with a
that's definitely a chicken. Pidgeotto or something like that?
That's a bird.
Oh.
It's a bird, yes.
It looks like a chicken.
It's a pigeon. Hence the name.
It looks more it's got that thing on the head.
It's a pigeon. Pidgeotto.
Pidgeotto evolution.
PG is the first one, Pidgeotto and Pidgeot.
Okay.
Yep. Pidgeot was OP for sure.
Oh,
you had fly on that, or quick attack, or wing attack. You done.
Thank you for that. You just actually gave me my answer for me.
Pidgeot?
Yeah, that works out, man. OP as hell and sleek as fuck, man. I like his look.
And it's funny because the design for PG and every evolution is like the Saiyan. The higher the power, the longer the hair. So PG had a very small, and then it got longer, and then super long crest.
Pidgey, this is a Super Saiyan. Pidgeotto, this is what a Super Saiyan is ascended past a Super Saiyan.
In Pidgeot, it's Super Saiyan 3.
Yep.
I think that's why I liked it too. I think, yeah, like a Super Saiyan 3 bird. So, from the original games, obviously Charizard, Mewtwo, he was overpowered for sure. Mew, because he had the same powers as Mewtwo, obviously. For those that don't know, Mewtwo is the clone of Mew.
Yep.
Hence the name Mewtwo.
Yep.
And Pidgeot was awesome. Blastoise, I'm literally giving you my top 6, like the Pokemon that I have in my party.
I was gonna ask too, like, what would be like the Pokemon League? You know, your top 6.
Go to.
Yeah.
Okay. Pikachu. Because you get that Pikachu to a level 100. There's no one can stop that bit. You got Charizard, Mewtwo, Pidgeot, Blastoise, and let's not talk. I'm not gonna add Mewtwo to that because you need to beat the league to be able to get Mewtwo.
I was gonna say pre unknown dungeon. What would your
Right.
team be?
Venusaur. The last evolutions of the starters, always. That always stays in my party. The first Pokemon I get, it always stays in my party. Entire of the game.
Oh yeah.
And not just in the original. In any game, any Pokemon game that I play, always keep my starter.
Same.
Because it's like, you remember Tamagotchis? The Tamagotchis, when you make sure that shit stayed alive, that shithead stayed alive.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where you're like, this is my kid. So that's how I felt about my starter, because you see it evolve, but not only that, but stays with you, and you beat everything pretty much with that one.
Yep.
If it wasn't because of him, you wouldn't have the other ones.
Pretty much.
So, Yadi, who's your
top 6?
Your top 6.
I always Pikachu, Blastoise, Charizard. Then we're going the same route, Venusaur. If it talked before getting Mewtwo, then I had Kangaskhan. Was it Kangaskhan?
Mm-hmm.
And I had Articuno.
Ooh.
Yes.
How can we forget about the legendary bird?
Yes, yeah. I love having those. Zapdos was actually one of my favorite cards. How they looked when I got that holographic, which I don't know where it is now, but that was one of my favorite cards to have.
My youngest, on her first pack that she opened, he got a holographic Zapdos.
Nice.
Wow.
And because it was because it was the coolest one that she saw in the pack, it became her favorite.
Right.
Period. Her favorite Pokemon. And it became an obsession. She wanted for her birthday, she wanted Pokemon cards. For Christmas, she wants Pokemon cards. Every time we go to any store that has Pokemon cards, we have to.
Of course.
Walgreens has this Pokemon card pack that the bag looks like a candy bag, because they have individual packs with like 5 or 6 Pokemon cards in them, and it's for you to hand them out to the kids in Halloween. So I got the family just random gifts and like cards and stuff, and I got them that pack of Pokemon cards, and they each opened like 15 packs. And it was, even though that they're the same Pokemons in the pack, not all of the packs, but they're mostly dark type or Halloween style ones.
Yeah.
But they were so excited. But going back to what I was saying, she became so obsessed and got so many so quickly that we had to buy her a binder. But she wanted a Zapdos binder. So I went on Amazon and bought her a Zapdos binder, and she, like, as soon as she gets a pack, she sits down and puts them in there. He doesn't touch them. She always, earlier today, she's like, "Daddy, can I trade Pokemon cards with you?" I'm like, "Sure, do it, do it." So I have my favorite ones on this sheet. There's 2 sheets full of them. So I put those aside. You're not. I have to teach you. Not everyone's gonna trade you what you want. So I put them to the side because I'm not gonna trade you those. And then pick anyone that you want on here. So she got Jigglypuff. So she wanted a holographic Jigglypuff that I had.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Getting back on track. Justin, who is your top 6 going into the Pokemon League for the first time?
Gotcha. Let's see. Venusaur, because much like you, always keep the starter that I choose throughout the entire game. Pidgeot. That's usually another one. Yeah. Let's see what else. Articuno, because that, honestly, that is probably the easiest way and quickest way. I mean, you can blast through Lance and his entire team with that one.
And all you have to do is use Blizzard.
Pretty much.
That's it.
Let's see. It's difficult because it's not the same every time. Let's see. Usually some electric type. I would either go with Electabuzz or Zapdos. See, I haven't played the originals in so long. It's like, and it's difficult to walk through like the team that I had,
because it changed so much too.
Oh yeah,
your party changes so much throughout your venture.
No doubt.
That it's hard to keep to that. That was the first time you make decisions in your life.
Pretty much.
Executive decisions. You need to go. I need to put you in.
Of course. More often than not, there was a Gyarados in there, because that's one of the earlier ones that I would always get the Magikarp, and then I would leave it with the
EXP,
with the share XP.
I would leave it with the breeder until it got to the level where it could evolve, and then I'd put it on my team and get it to evolve, because I'm like, I didn't want to. It was faster that way.
That's with the second gen, but with the first gen, you have to
capture it.
You have to capture it, and I will always leave it on as my first Pokemon, and as soon as I go into a battle, I change it because I would get experience that way.
I call him the breeder because that was the thing in the second gen, but there was a guy outside of Cerulean City that would take your Pokemon and raise them for you to level them up while you were out roaming around. And that's what I would do. I would leave the Magikarp with him, and then I would run up and down that area right around the side of his house until he got the appropriate number of levels. Then I'd put him back on my team and then level him up. And then I'd have that. And then I'd just go on with that.
It used to depend on the steps and the time. That right?
Yeah.
Those are the steps that you took.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's funny because everyone talks about how Magikarp is the most useless Pokemon because all he does is splash, but evolves into one of the greatest Pokemons ever.
Yeah.
However, to me, Togepi was the worst Pokemon ever.
Togepi?
Yeah. It was a half-hatched egg.
Pretty much.
It was an egg with a Bart Simpson hairstyle.
And a colorful sprinkle scheme.
Togepi Magikarp rank down there with among the worst Pokemon that you could possibly have, and yet it made sense that you would have one on your team because of what it evolved into. It's insane.
Right. Lola, Magikarp had this. It came with this attack called Splash, and that's just what the name says. All he did was splash. You wouldn't take any health points from the other Pokemon. Every single Pokemon that you have in the game learns new attacks as they're growing and going up in levels. You could not teach this Pokemon anything.
Yep.
It didn't matter if you found a technique machine or whatever was an attack and wanted to teach anybody. You could teach any Pokemon anything depending on the type.
Yeah.
Except for Magikarp. Magikarp would not learn anything.
You couldn't use any TMs or HMs, none of that.
Yep.
None of it would
And as soon as it turned into Gyarados, Splash was nowhere to be found.
Well, no, he still had Splash, but he, like, within the next level, he learned, he immediately learned another move. But you were still stuck with Splash. Yeah.
I thought it changed immediately.
No. He was still stuck with Splash until you learned enough moves through leveling him or leveling Gyarados in order to be able to get rid of it.
Oh yeah, because I remember the first thing I would do is teach Gyarados Surf. Because by that time I would already have Surf.
Yep.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you still with us?
Yeah. Am I paying attention? Half in, half out. But I'm still here.
Yeah. Let's see. Rounding it out, I guess if I wanted to play with like a tank, per se, I would go with either Chansey or Kangaskhan if I could get it. But the most obvious would be Snorlax because he had pretty much the beefiest HP in the entire game.
Right. Yeah, it was fun playing with Snorlax. It was hard to catch him though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super difficult.
And the most difficult ones were the legendary ones because they would flee and you have to go find them somewhere else in the map. The good thing is
the birds, no, they stayed in the same spot, which is why you had to save because if you killed them, that was it. You were done.
Right. Well, the second generation with Entei and Suicune and what was the last one?
Raikou.
They would move, or if you went to attack them, they would flee, and they would literally move to the opposite side of the map.
They were such a pain in the ass,
and you have to, and your job was to hunt them down.
Oh yeah,
at one point.
Well, I pretty much had a method down because whenever you changed routes, they would change positions on the map. So what I did was I would stay in one or two areas, and every time I changed, I'd look at the map. And usually, like, it would play around with you where, okay, it's getting like within one or two routes of you, and it would kind of hop between routes. Okay, is it going to go further away? Is it going to come towards you? And then then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it would just go completely on the other side of the map, and then you get pissed off.
Yeah.
But generally, I would stay, like I said, within those one or two areas and switch and keep checking until it was, right in that same area as me. And every once in a while, I would leave the one area that I was, check the map, and it was in the area that I left. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I go back, and then he's completely on the other side of the map. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I will always keep 3 Master Balls on me because I wanted all 3 of them. And if we're talking about second gen, those would be my party for the league.
Yeah, I made sure that I had at least 50 Master Balls on me all the time when I learned how to multiply shit in this.
Yeah.
The Gen 1, you could definitely do that, but I wasn't... can you do that in Gen 2?
In Gen 2 is the one that you could do it.
So in the blue version, that's what I did it. And then I passed them with the Pokemons with an item. You know how you could give
hold
them
an
item? So I used to pass them with it. That's it.
Because on a previous episode, I explained it, and I'm like, how do I remember this? And for those that didn't hear that episode, here it is. You would go into anywhere that had a PC to go pick up whatever Pokemon you didn't have on your party. You would stand in front of it. You would save it. You had to do the save. Would you like to save? Yes. Would you like to override? Yes. You go into your party. Put the Pokemon that you want to clone from your party, holding an item, into an empty box. The empty box, once you do that, you hit save, and you hit yes, and then when it asks you to override, you hit yes and turn it off. When you turn it back on, it'll be in your party and that empty box holding the item.
I don't even remember how I learned it.
Yeah,
I don't remember either.
Slightly more difficult than the missing no glitch from Gen 1.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that one was difficult.
What, the missing no one?
You just like
Not
surf
really.
up and down.
Right.
This,
There was a process. There was a process to it, and so basically, what you did was you went to Viridian City. You talked to the guy that teaches you how to catch Pokemon, and you let him go through his little spiel, shows you how to catch them, and then you fly to Cinnabar Island. And then what you do is you set the item that you want to duplicate in the 6th item slot in your inventory. And then you go up and down the right side of Cinnabar Island. And eventually you'll run into the missing no glitch. And once you've done that, and you can capture him if you want. I did a couple times. And then once you've seen him, you can run, you can kill it or whatever. Usually it's a better idea if you run. And then once you've done that, you look in your inventory and that 6th item has multiplied to max. Like you'll get 99 of pretty much anything, Master Ball, rare candy, what have you. And so that's how, what's funny is being the younger, inexperienced player that I was, is like, oh, rare candy, instantly level up to 99. And then you would go against people that have like legitimately trained theirs and get your ass kicked every time. Yeah. And that's when I learned that raising your Pokemon through experience is better than doing it through rare candy because the stat increases are far greater.
Yeah.
But I used to increase the attack and all the specialty things individually too. So I had everything maxed out.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing with the the protein and the things that increase the individual stats plus the HP and the power points and things like that. Yep. But then having 99 Master Balls to catch everything in the game before being able to trade for anything.
Right.
Yes.
Lola,
how much time did we spend on this game? Gee.
Too much.
Way too much. And by the time that we wanted to figure out how much time, the new one came out and we were spending the same amount of time on it.
Yep. We moved right on to the next one.
There is no game in my gaming history that I spend more time than combined than probably just yellow or gold. If I were to combine the hours that I spent on all of them, way too many to be proud
That's
of
half
that.
your life right there, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
We spent
Lola,
half our lives
I know that
Pokemon.
I know that you've only beat your first gym, and you probably don't remember the names of the Pokemon.
No. You know what happened though? I bought Donkey Kong immediately after beating that gym, and Pokemon went out the window.
Oh no!
Get the fuck out of here.
Listen. Donkey Kong is so good though. Just wanted to say that.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh no!
I'm living here, brother.
Not anymore. Yeah, well, moving on from you.
Oh, God.
Pikachu, yes, and Pidgeotto. They're probably in your party. Yeah, well,
in my party?
Whatever. Yeah.
No, just a Pidgeotto. That's it.
Great. This was fun.
Which one?
And a mysterious egg that I still don't know what it is.
Which one did you start with? Do you remember?
Gold.
No, I mean, like, which Pokemon did you pick? Like, was it fire type?
I think it might have been that pigeon chicken.
No,
you have to one that you pick from there. Either pick Cyndaquil. What was the other?
Chikorita.
It was Cyndaquil. It was Cyndaquil. The only reason why I remember is because you can give them nicknames, and I named it Cindy.
Oh my god! And it was a male. Great. Yeah. Cyndaquil, Totodile, or Chikorita. They were the starters for that one.
Mm.
One Pokemon that grew on me, or as soon as I was able to, that I found out, Lucario. And this is from later gen.
Yep.
Yeah, I only saw it in the
I think
movie.
that might have been Gen 3.
Yeah. Lucario. And you can only evolve. I don't even know. I don't even remember the name of his base Pokemon. And you can only evolve Lucario if it was at night. I remember that.
Yep.
And that was the first time I ever saw Lucario was in Pokemon Black.
I was wrong. It's Gen 4.
Pokemon Black? White and Black?
Gen 4 is, let me see. I'm on Bulbapedia right now.
Oh, me too. Diamond and Pearl.
Yep. Yeah, he was right. Diamond and Pearl, followed by Platinum, and then Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
I can't believe that's like 9 generations already.
It's crazy.
And now we're going for a new one, I think. No, maybe. I don't know if it's going to be new ones in the newest game coming up.
Yep. And Lucario's base form was Riolu.
That's so different. I do have the crystal version.
I had that one as well.
But
that
I don't
was cool.
remember. I don't remember playing it. I think I got it in a Nintendo DS. That
the crystal was Suicune.
Yep.
I borrow a Nintendo DS.
You borrowed?
I still have it.
That's weird thing about Lucario is that Riolu starts out as a pure fighting type, and then when he evolves, he goes dual type.
Yep.
You see, I don't even know what the new types are. I think I stayed in Gen 2. And then, I mean, I think I've played with some of the new ones, or at least captured some of the new ones in Pokemon Go, but I don't know really much about them.
You're going to have an interesting time then when we get Scarlet and Violet.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be in that, and that's it. I don't. Hopefully, I can transfer from Pokemon Go to it.
To me, the only thing that I liked of the new gen was when they did the Mega Evolution.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. What the fuck were those games? Sword and Shield was when that was introduced. That was actually really cool.
So
Charizard's Mega Evolutions especially.
Yeah, because he has 2.
Yep. So does Mewtwo, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And I think they're the only ones that have 2 Mega Evolutions.
Yep.
And which it's funny because they look like fusion. They look like one of Charizard's looks like he fused with Gengar.
Oh shit! No,
he looks like a ghost
I was
type.
wrong. It was introduced in X and Y.
X and Y.
Yeah,
the Mega
Sword
Evolution.
and Shield. Yeah, Mega Evolutions was introduced in X and Y, and then Sword and Shield was something entirely different. I forget what they introduced there.
Was the X and Y the latest?
No, they had 2 versions of X and Y. They have I thought that they had two different at 2 different times.
Too many.
No, X and Y wasn't re-released.
I forgot to show you guys the back of my Pokemon binder.
Show us. Can't see it. Oh, that's cool. Charizard.
That's pretty cool. Is that like the one that JoJo has?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, probably the same thing.
I think so.
Nice. Yeah, it's weird.
It was the Sun and Moon that had 2 different versions.
Oh yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I think it was Black and White that started that though. And they had Black version 2 and White version 2, which to me made no sense. And the funny thing is, I never played either one of them.
I think the last Pokemon game that I played, like when it released, was Ruby and Sapphire.
The original release?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then in 3DS, they released Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
And I'm assuming you probably got Ruby both times.
Yeah.
I got Sapphire both times.
I went with the red one.
It's weird that things that change from one generation to the next, or the things that you change from one generation to the next. Like going into Gen 2, I had Gold, and then I also bought Crystal. And then when I first started those games, I started with Chikorita, but quickly deleted that and changed to Cyndaquil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually kind of glad that I did, because that honestly, the game was way more fun. And then when the re-release for Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, I went to Soul Silver. I think probably at the time that I bought it, it was the only one available. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I want to play the re-release of these anyway. So I just bought it.
Yeah, when Gold and Silver came out, my mom for Christmas got me Gold, and then my grandma got me Silver. So I was able to get them both.
Nice.
And in both games, I started with Cyndaquil. So yeah, fire type all the time.
Yeah, I started with Cyndaquil in the gold version, and then I think when I did it again, I might have started with the Chikorita. Yeah.
Actually, I lied. I went with Cyndaquil and Gold, and Silver I went with Totodile.
Yeah, I think I did it all of them.
Yeah.
Could you start new games in the same one? How do I remember starting with all of them? Maybe I started it a few times. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, that was the only knock, I think, against Pokemon that I could give, is the fact that you could only have one save at a time on a cartridge. You had to delete the old save in order to start a new one.
Right.
Yeah. And when you surprisingly woke up one day and tried to play and it was not there, you were like, oh my fucking God.
And you kept turning on and off to make sure that to see if it would appear.
Get the cartridge out, blowing it.
Yeah.
Nope.
And it
not
nope.
there.
It fucked up. Something happened.
Come to find out, the battery in the cartridge probably died.
Yeah, great.
My yellow version, the last time I actually turned it back on, it still has everything saved. The gold version didn't. Yeah.
That's actually kind of shocking.
Yeah, and then the blue version as well has everything saved.
The old one, because they were made better.
Yes.
So, but do you guys have anything else? Because we can keep this could be a 3-hour episode.
I think Lola has more to say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tons more. I'm sending it in brainwaves though.
I was about to say, go ahead.
You're telling me that we should do some trivia. Let's do that for the last. Sounds good. We got a couple minutes before we close this out.
Yep.
Got a couple of trivias here. If you guys have anything open, please close them.
Shut up. I know you're talking to me. Fuck off.
Yep. Let's go with a very, very easy one.
Trivia time.
What is the slogan for the Pokemon franchise?
Gotta catch none.
Yeah.
None, like none of them, or none like the lady from church nun?
The nun with the face.
Trippy eyes. Gotta catch them all, yes. All right, let's go with when was the Pokemon franchise created?
Oh, I think I saw that. I'm not gonna say.
I believe it was 1998.
Lola?
I'll go with 1990 because I know none of it.
Yadi?
I think I saw it, but I don't know. 1996.
1995.
Almost.
Yes.
I didn't see it.
The creator of Pokemon first thought of the idea, although it was different than what we know now, around 1989. So Lola was almost right.
So we started coming up with the idea around that time.
Oh, the game said 95. I should have known that.
Yeah, yeah, that part. Let's go with what is the full form of the word Pokemon?
Pocket monsters.
I'm glad that it changed.
Digimonsters. Digimon.
I'm glad that it changed to Pokemon.
Well, I mean, the Japanese games
Pocket
are
monsters.
still called Pocket Monsters. Like they
Right.
didn't shorten that.
What is Ash Ketchum's name in Japan?
Ashmasters.
Shit.
Kakaro.
I knew this shit too. This is what's pissing me off.
Y'all give up?
I'm not scrolling.
We can see it in your glasses.
Satoshi,
Satoshi.
which is the name of the creator. Satoshi Tajiri or Satoshi Tajiri.
What I stopped my scrolling is actually the name, but I don't see the face of what name I'm looking at.
Oh, very difficult one. What was Ash's first Pokemon?
From the series, I would assume it's Pikachu.
Well, he's not in any other game.
No, the one from the games is Red.
Right. So, fun fact, Lola, in the show, when Ash gets to pick his starter, he oversleeps and he's late. So by the time he gets there, there's no starter. There's no more Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle. And Professor Oak says, "I have one left, but he's not great. He doesn't get along with people."
That's so sad. He got
And
like the beat up chihuahua that they have at the pound.
yes,
Oh, no.
Nobody
so
wants.
Oh God.
he gets Pikachu,
And this
he doesn't
thing hates him.
Yeah, hates him, doesn't want to listen to him, no, like nothing until Pikachu runs away. Or they get into an argument. They get into an argument. And then they go their separate ways. And Pikachu's getting attacked by sparrows. Or Spearows, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of them that are attacking him. And they're coming to attack him one more time. They turn around and they come full force, and Ash gets in the way and protects them.
Oh.
And he's getting attacked. And Pikachu can barely move, and he looks up, and all he sees is Ash getting attacked. And that's when he realizes, this is my best friend.
It was a beautiful moment.
It was a massive.
It
It was a
was.
massive swarm of them flying at him,
Yeah.
and that's when Pikachu saw it. Like, this
Mhm.
dude's protecting me, and then jumps over his shoulder and fries the shit
Straight
out
to
of
them.
all of them.
Yeah.
And that's how you
He,
knew
like-
Pikachu was the one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not only that, but I think when he attacks him, I think he pulls lightning from the sky too, because it was raining at the time too.
Yep.
So
It's a
it
very
was
emotional story, guys.
it to me that scene is to par when Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time. Because that was a very emotional and powerful scene also. So,
In the
fun
Pikachu
fact about
game,
Pikachu.
go
Go for
ahead.
it.
In the
No,
Pikachu
no,
game, that happens. Like not the whole scene of him getting beaten down by the birds, but him arriving to the place last and getting to pick just Pikachu.
Wow.
right.
And just like in the show, he refuses to go back into his Pokeball.
Yep.
So
He
he's
follows you
outside the
around.
whole time.
Yep.
That was the first time they did that. And then they didn't do it again until Gen 3. You can actually pick whoever was your first Pokemon in your party was able to follow you unless you had a Pikachu. I think Pikachu, if you had Pikachu in your party, whatever game it was, he always followed you.
Well, Yellow, you were pretty much forced to, and you couldn't trade him, you couldn't evolve him, nothing.
No.
Yeah. You had to stay
and
with him.
That's what made the Yellow version a fair bit more difficult starting out, especially going into the first gym.
Oh yeah. Fun fact: all these Pokemons they have numbers of what position they're in the Pokédex. So Pikachu is 25. The fun fact is that Meowth, which is a cat, and Pikachu is a mouse, Meowth is 52, which is the number reversed.
Yep.
Because they're arch enemies, which is also why in the show Pikachu is the protagonist and Meowth is with Team Rocket, which is the antagonist.
Gotcha.
Next question I see. Which group is always behind stealing Pikachu? What was the first Pokemon that Ash caught himself?
Well, that's a good question because he always got it was like given to them or they ran to him.
Yeah,
he was good.
His strongest Pokemon were Pokemon that he had to struggle racing because they were either
I know the Pokemon
left by their trainers.
Yep.
Caterpie.
Yep. I was
and that was
waiting for
also
somebody to get it.
That was also a very emotional scene when he evolved to Butterfree.
Yeah.
Because he lets them go with the other Butterfrees and he is free.
Well, he
the
had
first
Butterfree
Pokemon he catches, Yeah.
Butterfree for a while.
Not when it evolved, but shortly after.
Well, not even. I wouldn't even say shortly after. He did trade it away for Eradicate at one point, but then he wound up getting it back, and then I forget what season it was. I don't think it was the first or the second season. But yeah, he does eventually set it free.
Butterfree.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a female and a male Pikachu?
The fee.
Lipstick.
Tail.
The tail. The shape of the tail. Or not the shape, but the color.
No, it's literally the shape. If you look at a male Pikachu, it's shaped completely like a lightning bolt. The tip of his tail is flat, and then the female Pikachu has almost like a heart shape. It goes in like an M at the end of the tail.
I thought it was the male had at the end of the tail black and the females didn't, or the other way around.
No.
Well, I dreamed that and it's not true. One last one.
Yep. See?
Okay.
That's
we
so
didn't need
cute.
that.
I needed that.
Okay. The name of Hitmonlee is based on which famous figure in real life?
Oh, we talked about this in a previous show.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, and Hitmonchan is after Jackie Chan. All right, let's Last question. What is the most common type of Pokemon?
Damn, that's a tough one
Common
considering
type.
how many there are now.
A flying
Right.
bird. A flying type. No.
A flying chicken.
A flying bird. Pigeon.
I know that one.
Water type. There is 133 Pokemon so far, water type. All right. Let's see if there's one more.
And that is it for
Real easy one. Last one. Which Pokemon song puts everyone to sleep? Justin, you know it. Yadi,
Yes,
you
I
know it.
do.
Just say it.
I'm just waiting for somebody else to get it because I got most of them.
Well,
Go
it ain't
for it.
gonna be me. So
You got it.
I said it
Yadi?
earlier.
There you go. Nice. He even did the song.
That episode is funny as hell. All right, guys. So, that was it for today's episode. Since we gave you our top 6 Pokemon going into the Pokemon League, make sure you go on Discord and tell us which one is your top 6. We would like to hear about it. It doesn't have to be from the first games. It could be a current game that you're playing or your favorite game. Just let us know. We would like to know. And like I said, that was it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. You are always amazing for just sticking through this bullshit that we always talk about. And you guys are fantastic. You can find us on all social media on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Click
And
all the things.
you can find, and all of our personal social media is going to be in the link down below. So thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you again, guys. I always fuck shit up.
Lewis doesn't words
Beautiful.
good.
Nerds don't word good.
Nerds don't word good. Agreed.
Ed's coming on a shirt soon.
That's what she said. So
That one's staying in.
with that being said, thank you guys. See you next week. Gotta catch them all. Peace.
Bye.